Hey there, rock stars. Joni Dillon here, peak performance coach and sales strategist, with a question for you that could literally change your month right now. It could change your results for your month and your year immediately. That question is this: if you knew one thing, the one thing that could drastically change your results, your volume, where you're at on the board right now, what your paycheck is coming home in the next few weeks, if there was one thing that could drastically impact that and change that right now, would you want to know what that is? And if that one thing could shift your closing percentage by 5%, 10%, 15, 20% or more, would it be worth it to learn? More importantly, would it be worth it to master? What I'm going to share with you in this video is so important to becoming the number one sales rep at your store, to becoming a peak performer, to becoming one of the industry's best, and more importantly, to be paid what you are worth, to start getting paid what you are worth. That number one thing, let's get right into it. I'm also going to share with you why people aren't doing it and it's causing them to not get the results that they want, and 4 tips that you can start doing right now, tomorrow, with your tours to literally start changing and transforming your results, your paycheck this month. You ready? Let's do it. That number one thing is start pitching big deals now. Start pitching big deals. So you want to ask yourself this question: am I selling low-hanging fruit, the obvious, the entry-level package? Am I pitching the smaller to maybe slightly bigger and maybe a little bit bigger, but really the every other year option, the option that really barely just gets them in the door and just gets their feet in because that's what everyone's telling you to do? Is that what you're doing? Or are you selling big deals? Are you pitching massive value to get big deals? Because if you're not doing that, you are missing out on an incredible opportunity to be number one, to be one of the industry's best, and to start bringing home paychecks that pay you $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 or more. Sounds interesting, doesn't it? Now, you may be saying, easier said than done, Joni. Let's get into it. First, I want to talk about why people aren't doing this. If it just equates to just great numbers, you can increase your VPG significantly, you can increase your closing percentage, your APT, you can even increase your confidence, right? And people will look at you as, wow, she sells massive deals or he sells huge deals, and you will start getting known for that. If all of that is true, then why aren't more people doing it, right? Well, let's start with the why before I get into how to start doing it. The why of why people aren't doing it is this: they're not doing it out of fear. People are scared. Reps are scared that if they pitch a big deal, guess what? It's going to kick. You've heard this from your management most likely. If not, it's probably going around on the sales floor. Just get them in the door. Just get them in the door. They'll get upgraded later, no big deal. But are you really sold on getting them in the door? Is that the option that's the most ideal for them? Think about this. What if they never were to upgrade again? What if they just got in the door and they never upgraded again? You know those owners, for those of you who talk to owners, they're not the most happy, are they? Of course, they sure pretend to be. They're not the happiest. When you look at your owners who are VIP owners, who own massive amounts of points, weeks, or credits, those owners are the happiest owners by far. Why do you think that is? Because they have an ownership that works. They invested money at a higher level, and guess what? They're reaping the benefits. They're reaping the return. When we make any investment into ourselves at a higher level, we get a far bigger return. Now, if you want to be responsible for just getting people in the door, that's okay. But what if you had an opportunity? What if you had an opportunity to just expend a little more effort to get massive return? To get massive return and to get happier owners, because in the end, when they own more, they're happier. When you can show them how to use what they own, they're happier. When they can go all over the world and use this ownership however and wherever they dreamt of using it, they're happier. So why aren't people doing it then? They're scared they're going to kick. There's this fallacy, there's this misconception going around that big deals kick, and yeah, there's like this much truth to that. I had one of the highest VPGs in my company, and I only had a less than 3% rescission rate. So, do they kick? Or is that something that's in your head that's causing you to get those results? Perhaps you had a deal that you did sell that was a decent sized deal and it kicked. And now you're thinking, I'm never selling a big deal again. That's unfortunate, because when you can shift that mindset, throw whatever happened in the past out the window, just toss it away and start now, and know that big deals stick if you show the value, create that emotional connection, and get them in the picture to where they know that they made the right decision. Okay? So why else do people not pitch big deals? They don't pitch big deals because it takes work to pitch a big deal, doesn't it? It takes work. Of course it does. Like anything, if you're not willing to put in the work, you're not going to reap the benefits. This is why many reps out there, 99% of them, are not making the paychecks of the top reps. You know why? Because they're not putting in the work. They're not going the extra mile, maybe an extra half hour to an hour on their presentation that is allowing the top 1% to, number one, sell bigger deals, sell more volume in a month, perhaps even sell fewer deals, and to make 4, 5, 6, 7, even 10 times more than other people on their sales floor. So if you're not willing to put in the work, you're not going to reap the benefits. Does it take more work to show greater value to get those big deals? Yeah, you've got to show more value. But it's not that the benefits don't exist. When you can sell yourself on the benefits of what that's going to do for you, guess what? You're sold. You're sold on why you should be pitching and selling big deals. Okay? So, why else are people not pitching big deals? Well, here's why. They're operating out of a scarcity mindset. Most people, 99% of the sales reps out there, let's just say it, are operating out of fear, out of lack, out of this feeling of, well, I wouldn't spend that kind of money. I wouldn't invest that much money into an ownership. I wouldn't upgrade my ownership. Heck, most people don't even own. So if you're operating based on what's going on in your personal bank account or your financial life, your investments or your lack thereof, or your bank account or your lack of a bank account, your negative bank account, and that's okay. No judgment here. But if you are operating out of that, you are doing yourself and your tours a huge injustice. A huge injustice. Every single tour deserves to buy an option that you would not buy yourself. And that's okay, but why rob them of that beautiful opportunity to say yes to themselves at a big level, to say yes to themselves at a level that expands the possibility of their family and their future and their retirement being at a level that they never even dreamt possible before, because you believed in the product that you were pitching and you took yourself out of the equation. Okay, so stop selling out of your own bank account. Stop selling out of your own bank account and start selling based on what somebody else needs and wants. So how do we fill that void? Now, let's talk about how can we start pitching and selling big deals. If it has the ability to change your results so drastically, meaning you can sell 6 deals instead of 10 deals and make $50,000 potentially this month, why not learn how? Right? Why not learn how? Well, I'm going to give you 4 tips that you can start doing right now with your very next tour, and before you meet with your next tour, to get you on the path of changing your results, changing your paycheck, and changing lives at a much bigger level. Okay, so that number one thing, that first tip rather, the first tip is to shift your money mindset. Stop operating from a place of scarcity and start operating from a place of abundance. There is plenty of money for everybody. There is plenty of money for your tours to get resourceful. There's never a lack of money. There's simply a lack of resourcefulness. Did you hear me? There's never a lack of money. There's only a lack of resourcefulness. And it is your job to help them get resourceful in finding the money to make it happen. So stop operating out of a place of scarcity and start operating out of a place of abundance, meaning that just because you won't spend that money and invest into yourself at that level in terms of an ownership or an upgrade, doesn't mean that somebody else won't. People will spend $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 or more, and much more, when they have debt. Of course they will. It happens every day, doesn't it? So when you can recognize that just because they say they don't have the money, or they say they have a remodel, or they say they've got to pay taxes, does not mean they won't do it. Stop operating out of a fear of money not existing. Stop operating out of a place of scarcity and start attracting abundance and operating out of a money mindset of abundance right now. Just make that conscious shift. I believe there's enough money for all of us. I believe that anything is possible when there's a will and there's a way, and that resourcefulness is all that we need to be, is be resourceful. Now, the tip number 2 for you to start pitching and selling big deals is to sell yourself on the value. Sell yourself on the value. What is pitching in big deals going to do for you? Is it going to increase your closing percentage, potentially? Is it going to increase the number of deals you sell or the volume of deals? And what does that equate to? Does that mean that you could potentially be bringing home a lot more money? And how would that make you feel? What is the value of getting out of your comfort zone, breaking through that fear, and pitching a big deal going to do for you? What is the value of that for you? And then I want you to get really clear on what is the value of that to them. What can purchasing 1,000,000 points for some of you, or 100,000 credits, or 5 red weeks or 4 red weeks in your top destination, what could that do for them? Sell yourself on the value from yourself, for yourself, and for them. Okay? And tip number 3 is to sell yourself on your ability to get the deal. Sell yourself on the ability to get the sale, because you can. You can. And here's a couple questions you can ask to reframe your perspective and your mindset around this. Number 1, are there other people selling big deals? Massive deals. Look on your sales floor. Who's selling huge deals? And did they just stumble into it? Or did they have to start with their first deal? Did they have to start, potentially flop, get back up, and start again? Did they have to start with their first attempt? And have they ever failed? Of course they have. Have you ever failed selling a small deal? Of course you have. So what's the difference? There is no difference whatsoever. So look at who are the examples of people selling big deals around you and talk to them. How was it when you first started pitching big deals? Why did you start doing it? Start selling yourself on your ability to make it happen too. And the 4th thing is in order to create the value that you need to start selling big deals, you need to be creating value. So what is it that you can do right now in your presentation to shift and to create value? And that 4th thing that I'm going to give you is start using powerful, compelling third-party stories that sell for you. Start using right now in your next presentation third-party stories that sell for you. There is a magic in a story. There is magic in hearing the journey of somebody through a story. And you can start doing this so easily, so effortlessly. And the best part about it is it doesn't have to be a deal that you sold. It can be a deal that went on around you, that you observed, that you saw, that you talked to the rep about, and you got pumped about. Or, more impactfully, it can be one of your own. And that third-party story can literally sell for you. It can sell a $50,000 deal, or it can sell a $160,000 deal. That story has the ability to take your game from wherever it's at right now, no judgment, we just acknowledge where we're at, to wherever you want to be. I'm so excited for what's coming down the pipeline. There's so much amazing stuff happening over the next few weeks. Then when it comes to storytelling, things that I am creating for you guys right now, and I can't wait to bring you along my journey to share with you how I was able to take my sales game to another level using compelling stories, hypnotically compelling stories that sold for me. So I hope those 4 tips help you to get out there, to get over your fear, get over yourself. It's not about you. It's about them. And your tours, your guests deserve to see an option to buy something bigger that is out of your personal comfort zone that may be in theirs. Have an unstoppable day. Get out there, change some lives today. You certainly deserve it, and so do they. Until our next video, guys, I can't wait to talk to you very soon and to share with you some of the amazing things happening. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. Make sure you ask to get in. Send me a message on Facebook or find out how to get into Timeshare's Elite. My Timeshare's Elite. There's another one out there. It's not mine. So how to get into my group and like us on Timeshare Sales Mastery. Of course, you don't get all the goods in Timeshare Sales Mastery. So get into our group, Timeshare's Elite, and have an incredible day. I'll talk to you soon. Get out there, be unstoppable, everyone. Peace.